Hello everyone, I'm Joe Ackourey, and welcome to the Fly of the Week. For this episode, episode 17, I'll be tying a traditional blue-wing olive dry fly. So let's get started. The classic or traditional blue-wing olive dry fly. Let's put the hook in the vise, making sure that the shank of the hook is parallel with the tabletop. And so our first step to tying this fly is to determine where the wing is going to be set. So, like previous episodes, I use my thread as my indicator. I like to wrap the thread back to the halfway point of the shank. I'd say right about there, that's pretty close. And then wrap your thread back up half of what you wrapped. Like so. That's where our wing is going, guys. Now, the wing technique I'm going to show you is it's like a dying art. Nobody ties these anymore. You don't see much of it anymore. What we're doing is we're using a Mallard duck quill section. These are from the wings, a left and a right wing. Try to get a match set. It's, it's probably better off. But so what we're going to do is we're going to take a section out of this wing on the left and right side. And the section is going to be approximately 3/4 of a gap. So you'll just take your scissors and pretty much the dry fly section of this wing is from the middle of the wing down to about here. That's all good, usable for dry flies. And notice it has a nice little curve to it. It curves out or in, depending upon how you're looking at it. So let's start by taking a section out of the one side. And again, we're measuring 3/4 of a gap. And I'm going to take my finger. I'm going to put it so that it curves into my finger. I'm going to wet my finger there and stick it right to my finger, like so. Now I'm going to take the other side and do the same thing. I'm going to take a section out of that, approximately equal to 3/4 of the gap, in the same general area as where I took the previous one. And I'm going to lay that right on top so that they curve apart. And when I slide them off my fingers, you'll see what I'm talking about. I mean, it's very rough right now, but I'll show you what I'm going to do here. Even them up, making sure that they're both the same thickness. This one is a little bit thicker. So I'm going to take my scissors and carefully peel off that section. Actually, they're a little thick. There we go. Now, we got our wings. Line them up so that they're even. It's not an easy task. Actually, this one's still a little thicker. That should do it. All right, here we go. Now, the rule is the length of the shank and including the eye is your wing length. So you line it up. You want the wings touching the eye. And you're going to go back to the back end of the shank where the shank meets the bend. There's your wing length, guys. Now, I'm going to point the vise to the camera a little bit so you see what I'm going to do here. I'm going to lay that in that spot. I'm going to take my thread and tuck a loop of thread in between my index finger and thumb. Squeeze the loop and squeeze the wings at the same time and pull down. Now, when I pull this down, like I'm literally holding a loop of thread in between my fingers and it's not touching the wing. So when I pull that thread down, these wings should shoot up a tiny bit. And they did. Very good. So I'm going to peel my fingers back and try to hit a home run right on top of the previous wrap, or the first wrap, and then wrap back. Do not wrap forward. You'll mess these wings up. Clip off your excess. Now, cover the excess up with your thread. And now you got to carefully wrap your thread right up against the wings. Peel these back from the base of the wing. Try to get it close and dam up some thread in the front. Okay, your wings are standing up straight now. So now I'm going to take my scissors and separate them carefully, and at the same time I'm going to throw a figure 8 in between from the back to the front, and carefully throw one from the front to the back. That's it, guys. One figure 8, and then wrap in the front to secure it, and repeat the process in the back. There's your wings. Just got to be careful you don't, they split a little bit. You got to be careful. This one's got a micro split here. I'm going to try to save it. There we go. So there's our wings. You got the figure 8 going on, and we'll straighten them out later. Next is the tail. So the tail calls for a dark dun, medium dun tail, and we're using the Hackle fibers from the dark dun. We're going to draw these fibers down very slowly until the fibers are perpendicular to the stem, like so. Now, I'm going to grab, using the tips of my fingers, I'm going to grab the tips of the fibers. So I'm going to grab about a good, half-inch worth, and peel them away, peel the feather away. Grab the ends and just butt them together a little bit and just draw it out from my fingers. There's your perfect tail, guys. Again, so the wings are the shank of the hook, including the eye. We're going to repeat that for the tail. Take our measurement, make sure our thread's in the right spot. Tie that on top of the shank of the hook. Continue wrapping this excess up to the wing, or to the excess wing material, until you hit that spot, and you end up blending it together, and it makes a nice little taper, a natural taper. Okay, there you have it. Return your thread to the back of the shank, right where the tails start. Now we're going to get our fur blend, our bluing olive fur blend. You could find this fur blend on my website. It's an awesome blend. It's dubbed so easy, and no wax needed. So you could see, I mean, you could dub this down to a 28 or lower even. I'll just try to get it so that you can see what I'm doing. Back and forth, creating a little friction there. No wax. You can see how fine that I can get that to dub down, forming a perfect noodle. Slide that in to place, and begin building your body. Real skinny. Wrap that up. Stop about 1/16 of an inch from the wings. Pull off any excess. If you don't need it, get rid of it. Got a couple of wild hairs sticking up, get rid of them. So now you have your body, your wings, your tail, and your body. Now for the hackle. We selected 2 hackles. These are dry fly quality. You want to separate all this downy fuzz from the main part of the hackle. Just draw down, make sure the ends are even, like so. Get the second hackle. Do the same, get rid of that fuzz. Exposing the stems. Line up your hackles so line up where the fibers and the stems meet, just like that. Notice that there's a natural curve to the feather. You want when you secure these in, you want the feather curving down and over the fly, not up and away. So I'm going to take these feathers, these hackles, tie them on the side of the shank of the hook, and then you can see how they're extending out. I want to continue wrapping that in the front, but don't crowd the eye. When you get close, get rid of them. I'm going to build up a little thread in the front of this wing again, carefully, And then I'm going to grab my hackle pliers and start wrapping the first hackle. Grab your hackle so that perpendicular to the stem with your hackle pliers and begin wrapping. Your first hackle, you're going to put one full wrap up against the body. Second one's going to go in between the wing and the body. And the third hackle wrap will be going right up against the wings. You could probably help out the wing a little bit here by just compressing it so that the hackle fibers sneak in there. Then you want to sneak one right in the front of that wing and then continue wrapping and chase it with your bobbin. You're chasing it with your bobbin so you lock it down. It's a technique my dad taught me many years ago. And then secure that hackle. Clip off your excess. Now take your second hackle, repeat the process, but pretty much the second hackle is used to fill in any gaps that you missed with your first. And again, there's some cleanup here at the end of this fly, so I think I only need one back there and a couple in the front here. Oop, I almost forgot to return my thread to the back here because we're going to follow that hackle wraps with the hackle pliers once we get it in play, or with the bobbin. Here we go. That should do it, guys, right there. And there you have it. Clean it up. Tie your finishing knot. Got a couple hackles or hackle fibers that got captured with my knot. It's not going to affect it too badly, I don't think. It looks pretty full to me. Okay. Stuff in the back here, get rid of. Now for your head cement. There you have it. A classic or traditional blueing olive dry fly. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you in the next episode. Tight lines, fellas.